you know, we have students coming from different walks of life, be it school goers, college goers, working professionals. As per their need and as per their desire to learn Japanese, they come and connect with us and learn Japanese from us. And our students, again, not only are from India, we have students from different nationalities and different countries too. The third section of it is being associated with the academia, that is colleges and universities who want their students to pick up Japanese as per their need and clear off some sections before they move forward. So these are the three things, the first and the third, that is corporates and academia. It is always customized. So I'll just take a few minutes. Okay. So regarding the services that we cater to the corporates, it's not only trainings, but we do translations, interpretations. The next two are major and the flagship programs of SNRC, which is Japanese culture and business etiquette program for Indians. So those who are learners or those who know a little bit about Japan would understand that they're a very rich country with high culture, right? So they even before you pick up the language, read, write, whatever it is, understanding the land and understanding their culture would make life easier, even if you are thinking of a short trip to Japan, right? Or work in a Japanese company here or on a Japanese project. So that is like a workshop we conduct, which is a 1 day to a 2 day workshop, which helps a lot of industries, from small shop floor companies to huge MNCs. We have been conducting this. Now, on the other hand, there are a lot of Japanese expats who are here in India working with Indians. Now, we all know Indians are very known for our Jugaad system, right? So, our methodology of working, the way we think, it is sort of a shock to them too. So, we sensitize Japanese about the Indian mindset, Indian way of working, the Indian holidays. Each state has different sets of holidays. So, even that is sort of a shocker to Japanese when they come down here for the first time. So many things like that are covered. Last but not the least, anyone who's picking up the language would like to get placed in a dream job, right? So bilingual placements is again one of the services that we cater to corporates and individuals. So some of the few companies whom we have been associated, and being in this section, it has to be a repeat client. You can't get new clients every month or every year. And so many names we have been associated for more than a decade or even nearing to 2 decades now, right? And again, working in different verticals. It's not only IT, automotive, engineering, pharma, you name it, and we are working with them. Okay, so again, a list of colleges with whom we have been working. Some are within Karnataka, some are outside Karnataka. So depending on the need, we've been catering to their requirements. Okay, now there are lots of institutes. What is different about Sakura? Okay, so few points which I would like to bring. So as our logo indicates, experience immersive Japanese language learning. So we are not only very bookish oriented where we say ki, "Okay, you study this, prepare for the exam, get yourself certified." That is not our methodology of teaching or learning. We feel that you have to have an end to end learning. So be it culture orientation, be it picking up your conversation skills, interacting with Japanese, having a lot of activities which relate to their customs and culture and all. So all this we bring in and give you a 360-degree angle of learning. Okay, apart from this, we have a lot of platforms where we motivate our students, where be it the endpoint is placement, but to push them for even learning. Michi is one of such programs where we instigate people to understand a lot more about Japan. What are the opportunities there? What are the, why should you think of Japan? There has been one speaker who said, think of the East rather than the West moving forward. So, like this, lot of activities have happened, and many of them are, pro bono initiatives of SNRC. So that is the difference. Okay. And as I was speaking, there is an exclusive website which we have for Japanese language jobs. So I'm not into generic hiring or placement. We Anyone and everyone who are in my database has to be a language professional with whatever skills, other skills they have, technical skills they have, right? So I have an exclusive website which showcases all my bilingual caliber of professionals, and it's around 3000 plus, which is a big thing in this niche area. Okay, so we are very active on social media. You can follow us to get to know more about us, and that will give you an insight of where we stand. Okay, so now we take this opportunity to thank Sanjay San again for accepting our request, and from here we I hand over it to him so that he can give his inputs and insight about this Michi. Thank you very much, Sanjay San. Over to you.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to know about SNRC. I think this is much needed. With 25 years, we just got exposure now, which is another subject to discuss. That how do we make it more popular? Because understanding the Japanese investment coming in India and with different SEZ, special economic zones, are being set up for Japanese industries to come in. I think this is a very well thought first step, I will say. 25 years back, now it has to be more popular and more into it, because if you understand from Manesar to UP, there are certain habitat of Japanese nationals who are being staying there because of being a technical head of different companies. And it is very important now to also understand my topic, which we just set about people and the culture. It's about amalgamation of a specialized knowledge centers like yourself as an NRC, then the students who are learning a culture of a country who has been well known for technology and future thinking and execution. I think this is very important that the people from India of different culture understand the language and the culture of Japan and go back to their workplaces and try to amalgamate themselves with the culture on which they have to work and use the language effectively to understand and communicate their thoughts in a manner that it is understood. And learning is always two-way transfer of thoughts. It's about how do we adopt with the people who we are working with, and also inversely learn how they are thinking. And it is there's no kind of different thoughts. Japan is a country of technology and future thinking. There are few years ahead of us in the ways of technology execution and thinking. I think we are on the journey towards it, and it is very important for us to ensure that the people which we are working with and adaptation of culture. These are two subjects, and I will be putting Japanese thoughts in between. I have uh, I have an exposure of Japan through a sports career. I was a national judo player, and I was in Japan for some time, learning the judo from there. Before I came to the hotels, I worked for Cent paramilitary force for 5 years, and I got selected as a sportsman there. So judo was my first game and my last game. I played judo for almost 16 years. Professionally played judo for 16 years. And what I learned in judo was about the way Japanese think, because it's Japanese origin game. So that was the first exposure of me to Japan as a country, their mindset, their culture, their ways of thinking, which was executed in the form of a game, and how do we use inertia, all the scientific tools in a game. So it was not about game of winning and losing. It was a game of learning and thinking and execution. So that is where most of us are standing right now. You being a students right now, coming from different educational academia, cultures of the family. And first of all, there is no presentation I'm going to present. I want to speak my mind. I want to also open the questions when it comes on the right time on how do we think, how our mindset works when we change the gear in a life from a student to a professional, and you are in a journey in between that. You are students or maybe a professional who is in a transition of moving to a different culture by learning a different language. And learning the language is not about learning verbiage or creating a script where you could be understood. Learning of the language, any language for that sense, here we talk about Japanese, is about how do we connect ourselves, our mind with the culture of the people whom we are going to work in future. It could be it is more than learning a language. It's about understanding the culture of that lingual people, because like Rama ma'am just said it, Sanjay San. So San is a way you say sir. So I feel this is where it comes from. How do we embrace ourselves while learning a language? It's not only learning a language to communicate. It's a learning of language to express your feelings. It's also understanding the feeling of the person with whom you are talking. We are in a environment where we are working with people everywhere. We are studying with people, whether it's in a college, whether it's in a academia like an SNRC, or any other places where you once you are learned, you understand the language and you go and start working with those professionals. Could be Japanese, could be Indian, and maybe in the future course in any other organization which have a specialized language as a foundation to work with. So it is important for us as a professional and as a human being to understand with what kind of culture we are working with. Make sure that we listen more before we start talking more. Listening is the most important first steps of merging with the community, because that's the time when you start understanding through the body language, through the eye contact, through the facial expressions, and through the lingual transaction, that what the person is meaning when he's talking something. Yes can be interpreted in different fashion. Yes can be yes, we agree. Yes can be yes, we disagree, but we are aligned. Yes can be for nothing. You say yes, but you do and don't do anything on that. So as a language, the script can have multiple reasons of its execution and its belief. So it is very important, and that's the reason I chose the subject of people and culture, where as a people, all of us who is on the call, it is important for us to understand what is the psyche of the people with whom you are working, or we are staying, or we are friends with. Once we understand what is the psyche, the language is something which is only a medium of communication. It doesn't give any edge to you. Nevertheless, how do we make it an edges? How do we understand what is going in the mind of a person whom we are working as a peer group, as a subordinate, as a leader? So when we have that kind of mindset of understanding and having a belief of the depth of the language, that's the time we started getting leverage of that special privilege of learning one particular subject of a language, and then we can start doing it. More importantly, it is very important that we imbibe the culture when we are understanding any language or under any community. When you work in an organization or when you are staying in a society, Very important to understand the culture of that place. Ramasan just shared about what you do at NSRCC. We also have a cultural belief of every organization. At Radisson, we always says that Radisson is the global brand with a local soul. So that is our belief. That is our belief. That's our identity. So we are a company based in Brussels, but if you see in India, people feel it's an Indian company. We have an Indian leader. We have Indian teams. We are in all the places in India. At 27 locations, we are there. 132 hotel operating, and it's all around 17,000 people work with us in our team of different culture, different language, different thoughts. But when we come together, we are one Radisson. This is what the culture brings to you on the table. How do you train your people? How do you create an environment of their succession in the system? How do you make sure that those people have been well taken care by the uh, tools like Radisson Academy? And just touching base how in what structure you works in so that you can relate where you are right now. You could be a professional, you could be a student, going to be professional in some time from now. But it is very important to understand what is happening on the other side of the wall by these kind of dialogues which happens to you and kind of exposure you get through this institution. Now I will take you to how people start thinking when you have started talking to them. It is important for you to understand that what is the purpose of that conversation. Once you know the purpose of the conversation, language become a media to express it. And that expression has to be ended with understanding. First, listening, understanding, and execution. If you listen carefully and you are able to evaluate what actually the messaging was, that's a time when you start executing it. And that's a purpose. It means that the entire cycle of the language is been completed. And that is what also brings in the culture of listening carefully and thinking in a right direction. This is where I feel the most of the lags happen in any organization and in a society. When we are listening to somebody, most of the times what happens, we are also thinking alongside. We are the question is half finished, and we start thinking about the answers. Sometimes even the question is not completed, and we started giving the answers. And I feel this is a very normal uh, syndrome. I will say. I will not say disease. It looks very negative, but it's a syndrome where we start getting into conclusion even before listening it carefully, because you are right now in a tranche of learning a particular language. It is very important for you to understand how the communication has to happen, and it relates to our business a lot, because of hotel industry we are in a business of making people comfortable, bring the value of the money to them, and bringing happiness to their visiting our institution. That will only happen if you listen to them carefully, understand by their body language what they want to say, along with the language. Definitely language become a medium, but body language observation through eye contact is very important. Also, it is very important for us to see what actually that person means, by using that language. And that's a time when we start making our moves to ensure that the person is understood well, and we are able to execute things which he wanted us to communicate. This is where we comes around a thinking process which has been executed. Uh, I would love to open the forum for any questions coming in, uh, because it's an open conversation discussions. And we have a lot of students, faculties, leaders on the call. So far, I think this is very important for us to understand that the people and the culture. are only bind together by certain languages, body gestures, and the thoughts behind of that medium of communication. Those all combination will make a culture in a society, in an organization, in an institution. So, with due permission, I would love to open forum for any questions for me.
Yeah, you can jot down your put the questions in the chat box. We would read it out for Sanjay San to address the same. You could even unmute yourself and ask any questions. That's also okay.
Of course, yes. Even the faculty can ask. It's open to all.
Very
There
true.
are mind of many students. Students may feel sometimes shy. So you can also open the forum for faculties also.
Sanjay san, this is Sundravalli. I just want to know, just now you mentioned about the language as well as the gestures by the different cultures or the different locations. Uh, when someone is trying to visit a new place, the learning of the gestures about that location, how important it is before you try to communicate with the locals there. Thank you.
Yeah, very appropriate questions. We are in India itself. There are around 15 languages, uh, big ones, and then subdivided into another 28 languages with different accent and different thing. Every 10 kilometer you go, the language changes, which means that the language itself have a lot of mutation of an impact of a local culture and upbringing and the accent of people with whom that person is talking that language. So it is very important to understand the culture of that person area, and also the background of that person with whom you are communicating. I'm using the exposure and experience of the hotel industry, because we have hotels in all the geographies. As I said, 130 hotel from the Kashmir to Kerala to Gujarat to Northeast, Guwahati. This is the language plays a very vital role, and but it has to be mixed with the culture of not only, if I'm just giving a context of your institution where people are learning Japanese, and when they go in Japanese institutions, Sumitomo Corporation for that instance, in Delhi, the leaders who are around talking in that language, their culture would be different than in Mehsana. So Mehsana is a Maruti Suzuki plant where you have a Japanese institution, and Sumitomo Corporation is the automobile consultant. I know all this thing because of the hotel, because we are hosting a lot of Japanese companies in our hotels, and I did study it before this call, that which all locations we are very strong with the Japanese companies. So there would be a high impact of that local language on a Japanese people who are staying there for longer duration for a long project timing. So when the student from here or a professional from here go and talk to them in Mehsana, it is very important. So there would be a kind of, in the course of time, when they do a long staying, and there are Japanese people who are staying in India for more than 10 years, 15 years also, and they are CEO level people. They keep on going and coming back, but they are based in India. Their culture and the people who are coming and visiting India for certain project for a shorter duration would be different than from each other. So this is very important for us as a professional and as a student community which you are working, to move around and also learn the local culture of that place where the professionals are working, along with the Japanese culture for which you are training them in academia, and along with and the language. So language become one of the elements of adaptability for a student, along with the culture of that geography, and the culture of the Japanese professional and also Indian professionals. Now they also talks in Japanese for that adaptability. The way we started talking in English, even in our normal day to day, working. So this is a combination of three things. Hope I am able to answer the question.
Thank you, Sanjay-san. Thanks for the
Thank you very much.
Anyone else has a question? From Mr. Sagar-san. Sanjay-san, as you mentioned about the Japanese thinking, I would like to know what is the main difference between Japanese and Indian thinking process and behavior. What are the good and bad things in both? You're on mute, Sanjay-san.
This is a questions which actually the institution will be able to differentiate between Japanese thinking and Indian thinking. But nevertheless, with my exposure and experience with Indian, working with Indians and Japanese both, I would love to say Japanese are very objective thinking community. Objective, I mean to say, if you have anything to discuss, they will go into numbers, they will go into processes, they will take a lot of time in coming to our decisions, because they will put objective subjects before than emotional subjects. Unlike Indian thinkers, Indian people who work, they they will not do many attempts. They will do a lot of paperwork, whiteboard discussions, which means they will make the plan, they will see it differently, they may change it. They keep on changing it on a whiteboard before it is ready to execute on the ground, and which is actually a bit time consuming sometimes. But the success rate is higher mm, than uh, than anybody else. While Indians are very emotional, they are very prompt, uh, they're very eager and excited for everything. That means that they generally, when the idea comes, they start talking about it, and they immediately jump onto conclusion and start executing, which may sometimes be good, but in the long term, we have seen that because the thinking is evolving side by side, it may happens that in the course of time they have some other idea, so they start and their idea changes, and then they start again, and then they start again, and because they keep on changing their mind, because as a human being we keep on having our ideas start keep evolving and becoming better than before once we start executing. So the time consuming in execution is higher than in a Japanese, because Japanese are thinking and writing on a whiteboard, they're correcting it on a whiteboard, they're doing fine tuning it on a whiteboard, and by the time it is ready to execute, it is foolproof. So that's a difference, major difference between, and nothing is good and bad, Sagar. What is important is which side of thoughts you want to be uh, seen as.
Very true, Sanjay-san. Very true. Yes, as Sanjay-san indicated, they are deep-rooted Japanese people. They are more. I mean, that's the reason they are very good in their R&D, because you have one thing to think upon, and they get into the depth of it, depth of a ocean type of a thing, right? But we are more, as I said, we are more jugaad, right? Anything comes, any problem, we are ready to accept, we are ready to venture it into it. But unfortunately, they are not like that. Till they are sure about the end result, They want to give their 100%. When they mean 100, it is 200. Actually, it is not 100. When we mean 100, it is hardly 80 also. Not even 80, I would say. So that is the difference. But both the communities have their plus points. So we should just take the plus points in whichever community it is there and improvise ourselves. Yeah. So let's move. Pavan San has raised his hand. Pavan San, we can go to your question, please.
Hello, hi. Greetings for the day, everyone. Greetings, Sanjay-san. It's very pleasure to see you. This is not a question, so I would like to share something I have seen. My name is Pavan, and I'm a working IT professional and a student of SNRC. So I would like to talk about something which I felt very actually, what do you say? Um, what do you say I mean standard of living of Japanese. So I was just it came to me that there is one hotel in Japan, so that is called I don't exactly remember the name, but it is called as Order Mistake Hotel or Mistake Order Hotel. Okay, the specialty of this hotel is that all the employees who are working there actually are dementia and Alzheimer's patients. Okay, so they are over 60 and 70 years over aged people who are more prone to dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay, so the specialty of the hotel is that if you go and give an order, let's say you go and give an order for idli or vada, so there are high chances that you won't get the same order when you come back. I mean, they come up with a different dish because the hotel itself is like a order mistake hotel. I mean, it's like saying that, the people of Alzheimer's, I mean, Alzheimer's patient, they tend to forget things, right? So that's one of the, what you say, side effects of this diseases. So that's, so people are, even I understand actually because my father was a dementia patient and I know how patients of dementia and Alzheimer's, so it's not easy to live with them, it's very tough life for them. And, you know, even though we have the weaknesses like this, but celebrating these weaknesses, okay, and having that empathy is one of the highest cultures and highest standard of living. It attracted to me, really, because in a society in India like dementia and Alzheimer's, people, when the parents or any of them, we can't live with them. Most of them will be in old age homes, or they might be sometimes abandoned because it's very difficult for them. Okay, so but here, I mean, celebrating the weakness or having them to join a organization or something, a firm like that, and celebrating. You see, the people are very happy. They'll be laughing and like that. So this really attracted me. So I feel that um, empathy is the highest form of knowledge. So with the empathy, we can have a very strong society and a strong culture. That's what I feel, which I really liked about Japanese. I wanted to share with you, sir, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Well, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think this is what is Japanese are known for. They're very humble. If you see the body language, they're very uh, what you call hierarchical thought process they follow. And I will give the answers of which is just come in, and it is connecting the dots of what gentleman just spoken, and I'm going to give a reference to it. It's about creative thinking, as he mentioned of the hotel with dementia, people taking order. I think this is a surprise element. You say I want to have something and something else comes, which is like listening to a video which we know after one sequence what is going to come, and we are very excited about listening to FM radio because we don't know which song is going to come later. We were expecting something, and it also gives excitement to us. I think the creative thinking is Japanese way forward culture and their mindset, which really make them different than rest of the world, I will say. So good. Thank you so much for giving this insight. I saw another question coming from Rohini. what cultural aspect of Japan is the most important to adopt when they're collaborating with Japanese. I think uh, I just mentioned about etiquettes. They have a certain, every country for that sake has certain cultural etiquettes, which could be a bowing when you meet a Japanese. They don't like shaking hands, so you bow them, which shows a sense of respect. Also, they follow a very strict hierarchical ways of working. If there's a senior person, you have to give him away, and also ensure that we have eye contact with them most of the times. And I think that should be a part of the curriculum already with the SNRC. But nevertheless, more important is they like to be quiet but heard carefully. They are not very talkative, especially between their own culture. They must be talking a lot. But when they come for work, um, uh, which observe them very closely. We have some Japanese trained professionals working with us, and they keeps on giving the cultural training. And I got exposed to this SNRC. We will ensure that we engage them in our hotels, where we have a big volume of Japanese clientele staying there as a long-staying guest with us, or as a project leader. They keep on coming. So when we collaborate with them, it is more about how do we connect. So in any culture, uh, language plays a role of a bridge, but it doesn't make us enter anybody's mind and brain space. It can also being a communication to go into brain and make them understand us, and get the work done. In a sense, that's the reason we are in a professional framework. We are there to get the work done, or do the work what they and any leader tell us, which is a transaction, I will say. So it is only happens when you start understanding what is going in their mind, and what make them feel respected when you are communicating to them. Because respect is something which actually make the person humble for you. Most of the people, I'm not saying Indians, we are multicultural people now. I work with the Germans, Middle East, uh, Europeans, Southeast Asia people in Radisson Hotel Group, and they all, the one common factor which actually bind the entire humanity is respect. So while we are communicating, the respect of listening to that person and the respect of communicating after that person finishes is very important for us to collaborate with anybody, which includes Japanese in this case. So this is, I think I've given you a broad framework, but it applies on Japanese as well. Hope I was able to answer, Rohini.
Yes, Sanjay-san, thank you very much. Any other questions? You're taking time to think for the question, what to ask.
Yeah, I think that's the way Japanese think. So,
Very, very, very true.
and even if after the workshop, this call, if anybody have any questions, they have my number. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to support.
Sure, sure. If the participants would like to ask, they have been put in a group, they can ask and we will share it with you, Sanjay-san.
Sure, sure.
So if there are no other questions, I think we could end the session here. Sanjay-san, any final inputs that you would like to share with the team?
No, this is a great institution, I will say, and I can see a great future. My only advocacy here would be market it in all the hotel companies and the consultant companies. Uh, this language is now going to be highly in demand. The reason because recently Mr. Yogi, Chief Minister UP, has announced certain SEZ, and along with that, Madhya Pradesh government has also announced SEZ where they've invited a number of Japanese companies to come and start their plants here. So, which means there would be a lot of churning of uh, people they want to hire, and this language will give a edge of understanding. So it will be always be a great tool for us to learn the language. And second language, Japanese, is always good for your learning purpose, for your own connecting with different leaders from Japan, which are a great source of knowledge and technology for the community in India. And we can all work together to make India a great country, which you all are doing it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanjay San. Thank you very much. Yes, uh, as the business and the both the countries are working very closely, the business, of course, is going to develop. And all of you here, the more you learn the language, basically, other than the European nations where English, works out. With Japan, it is better to learn Japanese because they are still a conservative society where they would prefer if someone learns Japanese, they would be very happy to work with them. And of course, you can build your trust and respect with them, as Sanjay Sam indicated. So, yeah, all the best to all of you. Thank you for making it. And Sanjay San, out of your busy schedule, you agreed to come to this event and share your thoughts and opinion about people and culture. That was really lovely. A very big thank you to you too.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, everyone. Thank
thank
you
you.
for
Have a
being
great
here.
day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Bye bye.